What's up, YouTube? It's your boy WizCosta77 coming at you with a regionals report. You see, I got my main deck and my side deck laid out here. Spellbook of Wisdom on top. You know, I get more to that later. But first and foremost, before I get into anything, I'd like to give a thank you to all my subscribers. You know, I've been getting a lot of new subscribers in the past couple days. You know, a lot of new people from, putting in my deck profile. A lot of new people from Lord Solar profile on my deck. So I'd like to give a special thanks to Lord Solar. Also, anybody that's, been subscribed to me since the beginning, special thanks to you guys. You guys know who you are, And let's keep them coming, guys. Bring your friends. Everybody deserves a little bit of wisdom in their life from old WizCosta. But let's get to it. The regionals, Tallahassee, went X2. I do mention in my previous video that I believe I should have been XO, and I said I was going to explain why in this video. And it all had to do with this card right here, believe it or not, I'm going to go through each round, tell you what I went, how I did in each round. And when I get to the rounds where I believe I should have won, you'll see why I believe they revolve around that card. All right. Now, when I first get there, round one starts. Yeah, I prepare my side decks to face, Gear Guys. And lo and behold, my first matchup is a freaking Gear Gaia deck. So I believe he was playing the Mocking the Gear Gaia deck. So, I sit down, I play him. He sets one, sets two, ends turn. So I'm thinking, all right, what could he be playing? I already had an idea in my head that he probably was playing, the Gear Gaia deck. I just didn't know which version. And so, I got lucky. I ended up having 3 Spellbooks and a High Priestess in my hand. So I was able to get rid of his face down card, face down monster card, which was a freaking Gear Gaia monster. So I was like, know what I'm playing. Later on in those turns, he started summoning the Mocking monster, so I knew he was playing Gear Gaia Mocking, which is a little bit slower than the other versions of the deck, but it's a lot more powerful to me. So I ended up winning round one. Go to my side deck. I put crossouts in, as you see, in Lord Solar's video. You'll see my side deck in this video as well. I put crossouts in. I just made a meta call, and they ended up working for me very well. All right. Round one's over. I end up 2-0 on them. I'm waiting around for round two. We sit down round two, and lo and behold, what do I face? Another Gear Gaia deck. All right, but this time I think it was the Bird Gear Gaia deck. I'm a Bird man. It's a little bit faster than the other one, so I got to kind of keep up. So I end up 2-0 on him as well. I put the Cyber Dragons in there. Actually, the biggest component in beating him game 2 was the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon and the Cyber Dragons. I got him up to, I think, 3,000. Hit him direct. He didn't have Trag, he didn't have Gores, and he couldn't take another one of those. All right, round 3 was my first loss. It was against Windups, but I win round 1 actually, flawlessly. I don't think he touched my life points. Round 2, he gets Shockmaster on me. He has Shockmaster. He has Windup Zenmaity, the carrier. He has Windup Shark in defense with a Windup Factory in the background and 1 card in his hand. All right. Now, the previous turn before that, my turn, I had 3 Spellbook cards in my hand. One was this freaking card here, Spellbook of Wisdom, Spellbook of Life, and Spellbook of Power. All right. I put a Break of the Magical Warrior on the field, and I had I think a Magician that had survived earlier somehow. He didn't attack it. But I told myself, a lot of times I like to set this card if I have a spellcaster on the field. But I told myself Breaker was not important enough to set this card and risk drawing her. I had already thinned my deck pretty much. I was down to like 20-something cards and I had yet to see her. So I was like, okay, if I set this card and I see her, I'm going to be pissed. Because I could special summon her and get out of that Shockmaster lock. Of course, he called traps when he put Shockmaster on me. But if I draw her, I can get out of the Shockmaster lock if I don't set this card. So I resolved myself before my turn ended not to set this card. Man phase 2, I freaking set this card. I don't know why. I went against every intuition that I had, but I freaking set this card. Lo and behold, he put Shockmaster on me. He leaves me at about, 2,100 life points or whatnot. And he calls traps. The next card I draw is freaking High Priestess. And I was highly pissed because I ended up losing that one because I set this card and I resolved myself not to set it because I didn't need to set it. So I ended up only having 2 Spellbook cards in my hand instead of 3. I could have got out of the Shockmaster lock very easily, if I just special summon her You know, play Spellbook a lot, brought back Kaiku, made him level 3, made him level 7, I'm sorry. You know, play Spellbook of Power, hit, you know, popped his back row, you know, made hit Zinc, hit the carrier, actually, don't hit the Shockmaster, hit the carrier, hit the Shark, pop his back row with her effect, make Big Eye take his Shockmaster, and hit remove and say spells for Shockmaster because he only have one card in his hand, and set my Spellbook of Wisdom for my Big Eye, say go. And he wouldn't have been able to do anything. Like, guys, he would have been stuck, to be honest with you. But, you know, it's all good. I end up losing the next one after that. It was a misplay on my part. I should have won that match, but okay, I'm X1 at this point. You know, I resolved myself not to make that mistake again. Alright, so round 4 gets here. I play Frog Monarchs. This was probably the hardest matchup out of the whole tournament. Simply because of the Caius and the Risers and everything else was just, he just kept plussing off me. You know, it wasn't like he was beating me down. He just continued to plus off me very fast and very easily. And, you know, with the freaking swap frogs and the draw frogs and, you know, all this other stuff, you know, I end up siding in this card right here. It's beautiful Dimension of Fissure. You know, I didn't see it game 2. I barely won game 1. I didn't see it game 2, I lost. I saw both game 3. I ended up playing it on him. You know, this card actually won me that match against him. Very good card. I'm glad I could side deck it because the Temperance effect doesn't have to be, you know, activated in the graveyard. You know, she just have to be tributed from the field. Round 5, I played Heroes. I won the first one, lost the second one, won the third one. This is actually my easiest matchup, believe it or not. The only reason I lost the second one was because he had 2 Super Polys and he drew them back to back. And then after that, he drew a freaking Miracle Fusion. And like, I just really couldn't do anything. Like, Zero just completely wrecked me. You know, just wrecked my face in. But, you know, lo and behold, I survived, you know, and they got me my 4th win. Round 6. It was this card again. I get into it. I played Gravekeepers. We went 3 rounds, all 3 matches. All right. So I won the first one pretty easily. The second one was a slug fest like I've never had in my life. All right. We were both down to 2 cards. I got High Priestess on the field somehow. And, you know, I was just going for it. He composed. I had a Spellbook of Life on the field and one in my hand. I chained the one on the field to the compost, hit him for 25 direct. He ended up searching off of what's the name of that guy? That you know, the Gravekeeper searcher. Can't remember his name right now for some reason. I'm blanking. But he ended up searching off of him. Got another recruiter. That's his name, Gravekeeper recruiter. And all I knew he had in his hand was a Gravekeeper's recruiter. He had Necro Valley on the field. For some reason, I got so anxious to get that Necro Valley out the field instead of setting this card like I should have, with my only card being High Priestess on the field, nothing else. I freaking removed it from play from my hand to destroy the Necro Valley. Something told me to set it. I didn't set it. He potted Wilds into a dark hole and he proceeds to beat me. Alright, second misplay off of this card right here. I love it to death, but I misplayed twice off of it. You know, the next 2 matches I win pretty easily. I wind up my, you know, 7th round. Wind up deck. He Shockmaster loops me. I don't make that same mistake. I break the lock. You know, GG's. The last match, I actually had 2 of her on the field. And I was going to go for Big Eye. I was like, no, I'll leave her both on the field because he had like 4 cards in his hand. I get the double destruction. I had Spellbook Wisdom and Mirror Force in the background. He summons, goes off. The last card he summons was a Blackluster Soldier. I was like, crap. He actually opts not to use the effect with 2 back row. And he tries to attack twice. A Mirror Force, he extends the handshake. You know, GG's. All right. And the last match was actually quite possibly the best matchup for the regionals. I played against the rival team member, Dion. He's part of the yu-nique Mafia. But with Mr. Lord British, you know, is the commander. Not Mr. Lord British. Yeah, Mr. Lord British is one of the commanders. But Mr. YG82 is actually the quote-unquote general. Bleh. But Dion's part of that team. And we have a pretty big rivalry here in Atlanta with the yu-nique Mafia. So I played against Dion. Of course, it's all friendly. We shake hands and whatnot. We go, you know, all 3 games. And I end up beating him with he's playing Dino Rabbit. I end up beating him, you know, with Dino Rabbit. Just game 3 was just quite unfair. I don't know. I just drew the nuts game 3. But, you know, that's my regional report. I went X2 and got 19th place. Honestly, should have been, you know, XO or at least X1, you guys. You know, I made some misplays with revolving around this card, you know, but it's all good. At the end of the day, you know, I'm happy I got my top. I got my Nats invite. You know, my side deck I felt was almost there, you know, almost perfect. You know, I got some pretty important meta calls in here, like an open the cross out for the good guys. You know, and more people are going face down now that they think executors don't exist. But, you know, they still exist. They just exist in a different form. But this card to me was a really good meta call for the side deck. Along with this card, the Dimensional Fissure. And I'm glad I side decked it. I didn't see any Dark Worlds, which is what I side decked it for. But I did play that Frog one arc matchup, and it really saved me. Alright, and the only the change it would have made was this card here. I would have side decked it out for a 3rd Rai-oh Warlords. Because I sided it in against windups and against a lot of other decks. But I never saw it. So, or Rai-oh Warlords, to be honest with you. So I would have sided this in for a 3rd Rai-oh Warlords, so increase my chances of seeing Rai-oh Warlords at least. But, you know, every other card on my side deck, the Compose, you know, the D Fissures, and of course the Rivalries, like I was mentioning. This boss right here, this guy saved me so many times. You know, the 2 Cyber Dragons actually helped me very much so in my Gravekeepers matchup. I just misplayed and, you know, ended up losing that one. That 3rd Effect Veiler. The 2 Smashings to break through, you know, that setup in case I had to go second game 2. You know, same thing with the crossouts. And that 3rd Spellbook of Power, this card is so good. Like, I underestimated this card, and actually playing in the tournament with it, I realized how good this card is. You know, so I side decked the 3rd one, and I'm glad I did. Alright guys, that's it for my regionals report. You know, I went X2, I got 19th place, I got my top. I'm extremely ecstatic about that. I wish I could have gotten a mat, but there's always the Atlanta region for that. You know, this is WizCat77 of the yu-nique Alliance. Hope you guys enjoyed this regional report, and thanks for watching, guys. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe, bring your friends. Thanks.